Oh my goodness gracious. Guess what? It's Monday morning. I haven't seen you all in a second, and I've decided to go live. And I didn't have time to finish my hair. So my hair is doing what it wants to do, which is dry naturally, and then I'll go over it later. And that's what's happening. I still have those. It's upset. I still have those bangs, honey. They're drying naturally too. Who knows what's going to happen? I'll blow them out, whatever. But I wanted to go live because so much is happening. First of all, prayers to Notre Dame Cathedral and everyone in Paris. Like, that beautiful structure is just on fire. Hello, yay, people are here. Danielle, yes. Okay. Happy Monday, my love. So there's so much happening, TV-wise. So I thought I would hop on and talk to you about Game of Thrones, to talk to you about Double Shot of Love with Vinny and Polly and RuPaul's Drag Race and like all the things that are happening that way wise. I still am going to do a separate Bridezilla recap. And but I wanted to like get a whole bunch of stuff out of the way in one fell swoop. So I'm going to go and talk about those things, and then we'll chit chat later. But you guys chat about it while it's happening. Other also stuff, just like if you love a podcast, I am recording a podcast later today, which I'm super excited about, Natch Butte. But also I recorded a podcast with Molly McAleer, her podcast called, she has two. One that came out yesterday is Mother May I Sleep With Podcast, which is one where you break down a whole Lifetime movie. Those ridiculous Lifetime movies. And very intrinsically go in scene by scene, honey, like plot point by very faulty plot point. So if that interests you, Mother May I Sleep With Podcast, you can hear it. I've also linked it in my Instagram and in my Twitter. So go ahead and follow me at Chris L. Farah, honey. That's what it is. You know who you're talking to. It's me. I'm Chris Farah. Welcome to my channel. Okay. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start with Double Shot at Love because we'll just go from Thursday night. So here it is on MTV. It's Jersey. You know what they do. They love just making sure that those guys stay working. And Paulie and Vinny, we know as being A, in love with each other, and also B, just like hooking up with chicks left and right at the club, and then also like then kicking them out of their house and like putting them in a cab like 2 a.m. in the morning after the smush room. Like, these boys have been through it. They are dirty D's. How can I say that other than they are dirty D's? I love that you guys all are here. Yay! Okay. I'm not going to. I don't have any moderators. That's so funny. Not yet. Huh? Okay, so I need a moderator in this chat. Okay, so anyway, so Double Shot of Love. This is an hour-and-a-half premiere. They didn't need to do that. And they are just like pretty much following the format of The Bachelor and then including like Jersey-isms over the years that we've gone to love. Like, so it opens with them driving in a white Rolls Royce around town. This is Polly's white Rolls Royce because he's, I guess, very, very, very rich, honey, from all those DJ gigs. And like that one time he opened for Britney. Can I moderate? Yeah, honey, you can. Thank you so much, TJ. Thank you. I love you guys all for being here. Thank you. So then we get to the Guido Palace, and that's where they're going to be hosting these ladies. And they, are also for some reason sharing a room in the Guido Palace. Like, that's how much Pauly D and Vinny love each other. They didn't even give them like separate master bedrooms, which I think is so crazy. Because like, how are you going to entertain those girls? Like, why are you always putting together? And like, they didn't ask for one. But there's a separate barber shop. And the barbershop is where they go to like talk about things, which is weird because like in the first episode, they go twice. And it's like, what are you even like recutting? Like, how much have these people's hairs like grown and like 4 hours, you know, but that's what the crux of the show is. So in the premiere, they're like, oh, this is so funny. Everyone knows we're pranksters. We love a prank. And so what we're going to do is we're going to divide the girls. And for the first 10 girls, Vinny, I'm going to play the host. And then Polly, you'll be the eligible bachelor. And then with the other 10 girls, Polly, you'll be the host, and Vinny, you'll be the bachelor. And then at the end, they'll have a full pool party. And then at the end of that, we'll just tell them, we're all here for love. I hope the girls don't get mad. Like, that's what happens in this episode. So already, like, differences in The Bachelor is like, you know, like, there's this whole, like, well, if you're doing it for love, if you are actually here to find a wife, like, don't disrespect the process by making them think that, like, they've been lied to in some way. You know, like, that's what it is. So they, I love you guys so much. So, okay, so we meet some of the girls. And, well, before we meet the girls, Vinny's still on keto. And, you know, like, ah, thank you so much. TJ, thank you. I love the super chat. Let's keep it classy. Okay, so thank you so much for that. Polly's putting his, like, chains everywhere, you know, like his gold chains and his, like, he has a Rolex watch box that looks, I mean, insane. And then Vinny, like, is still doing keto. And I don't know why he hasn't come out with his own, like, keto snacks or, like, Italian keto snacks, because that seems like a really good way to make money. And his picture of his mom, because he loves that mom. So here comes the girls. Okay, I can't go by through every goddamn one of them, but there's a whole bunch of them. And they all range from, like, I'm just going to say what looks like 43 down to 22-year-old. And lots of, like, Jersey-esque, Long Island-esque, Staten Island, you know, like, types, which makes sense, as well as, like, a lot of Kardashian-esque types, you know, like, not a lot of, like, beach blondes. You're not going to see a Cassie, you know, or a Corinne Olympios. You're not going to get, like, those types of girls on this show. Again, a wide range of ages, you know, like, and I think it's because those guys are old. Like, Polly's old, I think, you know, like Mike, the Situation's like 52 or something. I don't really know. But episode 2 comes out on Thursday. They're always going to be Thursdays. One girl comes out, B Lashes, who has, like, the craziest blue contacts I've ever seen. And one, there's a crazy girl named Duran. I mean, they all have bananas names, but she, like, was a former, used to be, like, a little, like, overweight, and now she's just there and acting crazy. There's Ashley, who's, like, a model, who, again, is an old, I mean, she's not in her 30s, which is fine, you know, but, like, I really, really was like, oh, this casting is, like, going broad down the aisle, you know, like, they're in a spectrum, honey. And I don't know, like, these girls are supposed to, like, not know who they're there for, like, they know they're in the realm of an MTV celebrity, but at one point they're like, someone brings up the possibility of Drake being the Bachelor, and, like, they have to know that's not it, right? Like, so I think these girls, once they get there and once they see all the, like, clues around the mansion, once they look at each other, they're like, oh, it's a Jersey Shore person, and Mike's in jail. And Ronnie, I think, is dating someone, so it's like those other two. It can't possibly be that much of a hello, Lucy. It can't possibly be that much of a, oh, and Citaly, so many people are here. It can't possibly be that much of a surprise to them. So, you know, they get, and, like, they get rid of 2 people each the first time. One, like, girl just leaves. She's like, I'm not into it, you know, like, and one girl for the first bunch goes home because she looks like Aubrey O'Day, and Polly, like, can't have it. Who they used to date on, like, one of those, like, Famously Single shows or whatever. One of the best parts of it is this girl Darion, who, like, gets super drunk, and I can't say that name right. You know, I'm really bad with names, but that one, she's, like, wasted, and some girl, she's, like, holding a plant, and one girl goes up to her and she's like, are you drunk right now? And then she just, I'm a vegetarian, is how she answers. It was it was my favorite part of the episode. That was her response. Then one girl named Kate, who's like a bartender, just starts crying. That's the one that leaves. She just like excuses herself. She's like, "I'm not what you want." It's because like they're not paying attention to her. She's like, just X's herself. Okay. And one other crazy part in the first 10 is that there's like this like nice Asian Asian girl, and then she like starts to like feel, I think, out of place, like because she's like probably classier and smarter than like any of these girls, and she's like starts to cry, and then one of the other girls like comes up and she's like, "No, don't cry. You are as pretty as everyone else here." Like, as if that's the reason. Oh God, these girls are just nightmares, and they're just drinking Corbel, honey. They're bathing in Corbel. Mish is her name, I think. Mish. Or Mishi. So then we meet the other girls, and by this time it's already like 45 minutes into the episode. I cannot even take notes. So then the other girls happen, and then they're like, which batch is better? Like it's the same thing. And then the thing they do is, instead of giving out a rose, they go like, "Will you put your digits in my phone?" Like, I don't know if that's only the first time, because it's like you keep putting the same digits in their phone like every episode. That's very confusing. And like literally like, yeah, here you go. Like, they don't even try and do like, oh, contact. They're just like, 1, 2, dash. And it was an hour and a half. I don't know if every episode's going to be another hour and a half. It didn't need to be an hour and a half. I don't know if they're going to like try and like build in like an after show right afterwards. They love an after show, which, I mean, like, your girl's primed and ready. She'll even like dry her hair. Truly. Joy! I'm so happy people are here. Oh, and also, would you mind giving this a thumbs it up? Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. I said thumbs it up. Okay, so other than that, I don't know who is going to be a contender. Like, it just looks like a whole season of cries, and not really them ever fighting over a girl, but like that one girl, Elle, is like cute. Like, she'll probably be around for a long time. I don't know if I can commit to like always reviewing the show, because it's just such a goddamn train wreck and so stupid and so dumb. So I'm in right now, but we'll see. Okay, so let's talk about Game of Thrones last night. So if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, I don't know what to tell you. Don't watch if you don't want me to, talk about it, I guess. This is episode 1 of season 8. Okay, so Jon Snow and Daenerys Stormborn, which is like the Queen of the Dragons, like come to Winterfell, right? And like Cersei's there, and like I can't think of their other names, but like all the Stark kids are like back, the ones that are alive, And Brendan is like still blind and still a seer, and like Arya is just like still a rebel rouser, and like they bring what looks like a massive army to Winterfell. It's like the part of Aladdin where it's like, Prince Ali, fabulous he, Ali Ababa. It's like all of that happening in just like rows and rows of military peeps, And the Winterfell, North peeps are like distrustful. They're like not into it. They're like giving them looks like, no, we didn't sign up for all these people. No, we signed up for you, Jon Snow, being the king of the North, but like, what is all this? And then like the 2 dragons fly overhead, and they're like, fuck these dragons. Like, they're like, we're not into it. So then like Sansa, I can't think of her name, like the pretty one, like the red-haired one, she's like she's like Lady of the North or whatever. She's like, I'm not into this blonde bitch either. I'm really not. Like, this is my place. I have like food enough for all of my peeps. Jon Snow, you are the king of the North. Like, I didn't sign off on like bowing down to this person. Like, why do I have to? And she seems a little elitist. Like, in the mother dragon kind of way, like when they first meet, she tries like to be nice to Sansa, whatever. And like, she can't, you know, like she's like, nice to meet you, but I'm better. Kiss the ring. And like, this bitch isn't having it. She's like, I've lived through absolute monstrosity trauma. You just like got to fuck this one hot guy and then become queen of the dragons. Like, what have you seen? You know, and it's like barely anything. So then they have like a meeting, like the Winterfell, like we're like Winterfell, where like all of the people like come and like talk or whatever. And like, it's always like the kids that stand up for like the households of the ones that are like the kids that are like alive. And they're just like, Jon Snow, what the hell? You were king. We never signed off on that one. And like, who are all these goddamn people? And Jon Snow's like, look, like all this crazy shit's gonna happen. There's these like goddamn zombie monsters that will eat everyone. And then you're all gonna come back as goddamn zombies. You know what I'm saying? The White Walkers. And they're like, you made me king. And so I'm like king of the North or whatever. And I had to save the North. Like, that's you. So like, in order to save you, I got this bitch and all of her like crazy ass armies and those 2 dragons. And without her, you're all gonna be White Walkers. So in title, whatever, I bowed a knee. Also, look at her. She's hot as hell. I'm like really into it. To save you all, you know, but like they're distrustful. Okay. So let's talk about, so that happens. And, you know, like, it's really like so many people in Winterfell, you know, like, it's like Peter Dinklage is there and like Brienne of Tar, like I didn't see this episode and that made me like sad, you know, like Sansa. So yeah, then like Ty, whatever, you know, like Peter Dinklage and like Sansa have a talk where they're like, oh, we haven't seen each other since like, you know, Joffrey's like, you know, like, and that was quite a day. And they're like, yeah, that was quite a day. But this whole episode is people being like, you're still alive. Congratulations. You must be fucking doing something, right? Because you're still alive, you know, which, you know, it's a really brutal society back then. So can you imagine if like you just see someone 2 or 3 or 5 years later and you're just like, you are still kicking it? Whew. I don't want to know what you saw. Because what I saw was bloodshed and rape, and I barely made it, but like, you know. Okay. So then Cersei Lannister is like back, you know, like being on that goddamn throne, but like, and where we last left is that she had promised after seeing a White Walker that she was going to send like her like very rich troops to like fight in this war. But like, she's a bitch and like doesn't really care about anyone but her, like whatever she's making in her tummy. And so she's like, no, I'm not going to send them. Like, I'll let my brothers, like including that one that I fucked for like years and gave me like 3 babies to go, like you guys go. But I'm like, I lied. I'm not going to like send a troop. They can all die up there. Like the White Walkers or whoever wins, all of you guys die. And after like all of you guys are dead or whoever's left, then I'll come and like beat you. Or if you come down here, I'll beat you. She like just doesn't give an F, like, and she really like puts a lot of stake in like not being eaten by a White Walker, which makes me feel like that's exactly what should happen to her. You know, like she's has to die in a brutal way this season, right? I mean, anyway, so one of the best parts of the episode is that Euron loved Greyjoy, who's the uncle of the 2 like Greyjoys, the brother and the sister, lesbian sister, and like fucking eunuch brother. He's like has the Greyjoy army, and he's like, I brought her a bunch of people, which is what she wanted, and I get that puss. I'm gonna get it. Like, I want it and I'm gonna get it. And like while we're watching this, we're like, no, you're not. You're like drunk and gross all the time. Like, you must smell so bad. Like, I can't imagine what that person smells like. I can't imagine what his teeth, what's inside his teeth, like here and there. Like I can't imagine what it'd be like. But I mean, he's just like ballsy and cocky, and he just is like, I want to fuck you. And she's like, you know, I like your spirit. And then like they fuck. It's so crazy. And she's into it. And he's even like, how do I rank amongst like your brother and stuff? And she's like, better. Like, I don't even know. And then, like, he says the one thing that, like, would make that bitch crazy. Like, if that bitch didn't already, like, orgasm a bunch of times in that bed, he's like, I'm going to put a prince in that belly. And then she's like, oh, you know, she, like, can't wait. God, what a crazy character, you know? I think of, like, Circe kind of, and I think of, like, the girl, like, the Waterhouse from Handmaid's Tale a lot. Like, I would like, if I was in college, I would like try and do some sort of TV essay where I juxtapose and compare and contrast those two characters because I think they're really interesting. You know what I'm talking about. So, Handmaid's Tale, right? Waterhouse's wife. Like, I feel like her as like a matriarch of a family and Circe as a matriarch of a family and what they have to do throughout these two. This is like off topic. I don't even care. Watch Handmaid's Tale. What they have to do to ensure their like ultimate goals and objectives in the face of like brutality to others is very interesting. God, I've been having this whole, just side note, I've been having this whole like, I want to go back to college. I just wish I was just like in college sometimes, just learning, writing papes, you know. I don't know. I think it'd be a really interesting topic. Yeah, she just loves that arrogance or whatever. And then we see Sir Braun, you know, who's like fucking three girls, you know, like, and all the three girls just want to talk about is like all of the hot guys and all the drama and all the like gossip happening, the hot goss happening, and he's just like, get on this dick, you know. But then he gets offered this thing. The like Circe sends like an old dude like Hannah the Queen to talk to him, and he's like, look, Circe, whatever's going to happen in the north is going to happen, but those two brothers like cannot come back here. So like here's this like very fancy bow and arrow, and like kill those motherfuckers if they come back. In fact, like Circe always pays a lot, like in the beginning, like before you even do like whatever her bidding, and then like after you'll be like set up. And he's like, oh, I've heard it before. But he's like, no, they're like all this gold, and that's all he wants. But he would then have to kill like Peter Dinklage, you know what I'm saying? Who's like his like bro, you know, but he takes the bow and arrow because if I know that person, it's like he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, seriously, he's like, no, I'm out for myself at the end of the day, but like you can give me whatever you want, I'll just take it. And I'll just like make you think that I killed them or whatever, but like I won't kill them, but I will take it. I mean, whatever to fuck more whores. Have you seen them? They're great. When they're not talking, you know. Um, so then, okay. So then Daenerys, whatever, goes to meet Sam, who's like in the Citadel, you know, just like reading away. And she's like, I've heard so much about you. And he's like, yeah, like, thank you so much. And she's like, do you want anything? And he's like, yeah, just like probably like what was supposed to be mine before like my like dad like wrote me off. And she's like, who's your dad? And he like says it. And then she's like, oh shit. Oh God, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. I did this thing where I wanted people to like bow down to me, and the ones that didn't, you know, like I can't just like keep them around. And your dad wasn't one of the people that would bow down to me, put a knee to the ground. So, and he has to like be like, my dad, you know, that's Southern, more like my dad, you know, whatever. It's like English. And then she's like, yeah. And he's like, well, at least I still got that brother. And she's like, oh, fuck, your brother, right? Your brother was there too. And, you know, like he went with your dad. So, you know, and then Sam has to be like, well, they were kind of bitchy anyway. You know, like he has to just swallow the fact that like his whole family's killed, even though they were like mean to him or whatever. And she like feels like no way about it because she's still much like, I'm sorry, like I am the queen. Anyone that doesn't bow down to me, like off with their heads. Like Sam, low key, like where are you in now? Because if for any reason you're not with me, like I'll kill you right now. I'll just push you down these stairs. So then, at one point, I'm like going back and forth. At one point, Jon Snow and her like go like ride the dragons that are left to like this like beautiful place and make out or whatever, and like he's into it. And then Brendan, the seer, right, is like goes to Sam. He's like, you have to tell him that he's the rightful heir, like not just like King of the North, like he's the rightful heir of the Game of Thrones because you know like his mom and his dad are like blah 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 blah. And he's like, why do I have to? It's because he's like the only person that you trust. So then Sam goes and like meets with Jon Snow, and Jon Snow's so happy to like see a friendly face, you know, because like besides Arya, like no one has really been giving like Jon Snow like any amount of affection or love besides, you know, Queen of the Dragons. And he like needs a lot because he just like always felt less than because he was like brought up as a bastard baby. You know, he really loves that affection. I love it. I can't wait to see you guys are writing. So Sam tells him, he's like, look, you're king. And Jon Snow's like, I know I'm not. I mean, I was king of the North. I get it. And then I put a knee. And he's like, no, you're not just king of the North. You're king of it all. The 7 kingdoms, honey. The king is Uzis. I don't, you know, like your mom, you know, fuck Baratheon or whatever. I can't, you know, they're all the names, but look, just believe me or whatever. And like a lot of Jon Snow's face of just like realizing his whole life wasn't being a bastard. So it's like, look down. What is it? Look back up. Huh. Huh. You know, never got those. And he's like, if that queen that you're like fucking, I mean, the queen that you're like bowing a knee to, if she was like worth her salt, when she realizes that you are the rightful heir, like she should bow down to you. It's a little confusing because in my mind, I'm like, why don't you guys just get married? If you guys already like want each other so bad, like why don't you just get married and then both be the peeps? You know, like I think there only can be one, I guess. I guess there's only one, I guess. But like, and she really like Queen of Dragons really wants it, but it's like, why don't you guys just like build another fucking great ass throne and you guys just both rule? I mean, is that how? I mean, there. I don't want the season to be ending, but like, isn't that what should happen? And can that happen? I'm trying to think if anything really other important happens. Oh. So the episode ends. Oh, this is a horrible point. Is like, so the wild ones or the wild people and like the other like knights that like guard the wall. The wall's gone, right? Because like the dragon that became a White Walker like blew it down or whatever. So now they're just like trying to find where the White Walkers are, like to the north of the north, like in between the wall and the north. And they go to this like village or whatever that's like obviously been like ransacked by the White Walkers, and then like they find this like crazy looking human remains of a symbol that they left as a message, and then like this eerily starts to scream as it becomes a White Walker and they have to burn it. You know, it's really intense. And he had that like wild one there with the guy with the red hair and those eyes. And sometimes I was washing his eyes. I'm like, is he eye acting? Is he like really trying to like open those eyes for every scene? Because he looks so like, is that just his face? I would like to know. This whole episode ends when what is his goddamn name? It's the Lannister that like Jaime. So when the Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister, comes back, comes into Winterfell, and then like he like takes off his like disguise of a very like tired looking horseback rider, and then like Bran's right there, right? You know, he takes off his disguise, he's like, oh. He looks up and like Bran's just like giving him the 1-2. He's like, Remember me, motherfucker? I'm in this chair because of you. Because I was like a little boy and climbing up to see what the fuss was about, was watching you fuck your sister. And then you threw me to the ground and then lied about it. But I survived, bitch. And now I see all. I see everything. So it was a great episode. I was really into it. Everything is moving slow, just so you like it's percolating, you know, like I'm like, what do I want this season? It's like, I really feel I always like Peter Dinklage to be in love or like to be fucking someone, you know, like I want him to like find someone to like really give it to him. And he has to be fucking more whores. He needs to be drunk more, you know, like he can't just be like running around trying to make good all the goddamn time. And I of course want Arya to like step it up. Like she was like almost like relegated to like a little girl again in this ep. Like she didn't kill nobody. You know what I'm saying? She just was like, oh, Jon Snow. And then she like went to that cobbler and she's like, make me this blade, you know, like I need to see her fierce AF, you know, like I also would love to low-key see like some sort of like makeover for her. Like not like a glam makeover where she turns into her sister, but like a makeover that turns her into like some fierce like She-Ra warrior, you know, or like maybe like her boobs are a little up and she's like wearing a little makeup, you know, and she just looks fierce, you know, like maybe just like red eyeshadow or something, you know, like something that's like androgynous and or hot, you know, like maybe like Brienne of Tar and her sister can like come together to make a makeover to work for her and her, you know, her life. Okay, so that's that. And then RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, like let's tune gears. Are you guys, I mean, not really, it's kind of the same because it's just a bunch of queens wanting to be queen, the queen of queens walking around, right? Like that's what's happening on Game of Thrones, honey, and that's what happens on every season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Okay, I have to get to just a list of their names, honey. I think, you know, Miss Vanjie should obviously win just because of like where we are in life and like, you know, I think what's important is like her getting hers and she already is a fucking star. So why not? I mean, like, let's be honest, she is the star. Like she is so cute and everything she says is so funny. So, okay. I'm still happy Aquaria Davenport's still there. I'm happy about Plastique Tiara. You know, like she really came out, I think, of her shell. I'm really happy with Evie Oddly. And oh gosh, I should have their names. Whoever went, I'll tell you who went. What's that person's name? You guys, you know who went home? He was just like being so mean. I was like not standing for it. Oh, no way. Sorry, I should have gotten this up on my phone already, but I already was running out of time and had to get this done by 1. No, by 12, which is when I started. Silky Nutmeg Ganache, when Silky was like first on the scene, I was like, oh, I love her. But no, her personality sucks. But, you know, she actually is turning out better looks than I thought she would. So I'm like fine with it. Raja started to be bitchy. Started being like super bitchy. And her face and her makeup is so beautiful. But like her aesthetic isn't. And her like bitchiness hasn't come from a place of vulnerability. It's just come from a place of like, or funniness, which is where I want my bitchiness to come from, vulnerability and funniness. And like hers just comes from like insecurity. The fact that she comes from Plastique Tiara, like Plastique Tiara, this is what happens. So RuPaul goes up to Plastique and is like, you know, I'd love to see a little more personality from you. And Plastique opens up about the fact that like Plastique like comes from like her birth, her birth family. I mean, you know, is not supportive. They're like super conservative in whatever Asian culture they're in. And, you know, like Plastique opens up and cries about it. And then like Raja is like, I don't understand how RuPaul asks about you not having personality and you start crying. It's like, why don't you understand that? Have you ever seen the show? Literally, have you ever watched this show? That's what happens. Literally every season. There's the 2 times they break down. Usually it's both. The person breaks down in the break room when either someone like has to have a conversation with them or like scripts a conversation for them to talk about their life, or when RuPaul comes and makes them talk about their life. And then that person will always break down when they're being judged as well, you know? It happens every goddamn season. What are you talking about? So once that was happening, I was like, bye, Raja. Bye. So, and I didn't have to like even wait because I thought that was going to be the end of that. And then Raja just went home. It was against Raja and Akaria Davenport. Kyria. And Akira was better. It was more interesting in the lip sync. And Raja had lip synced so many times. Like, how many times can you like bust it out or pull off a wig or pull off whatever weird tree bark thing you made? You know, I don't know. Also, something else that was weird with Raja was that Raja like accused Plastique of like using Raja's materials, but it seemed like, I don't think they grab materials, they go and hound a bunch and then like put it off to the side. It just seems like Raja was like, I was using bark and I went back to get more bark. Guess who's also using bark? And it's like, yeah, that's not all your bark. You can't own all the bark. It's natural materials. Like, use something else, you know? That's how I feel. Okay, y'all. 3 shows. I have to go because I have to continue getting ready, but I love you all so much. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit now. Sansa, did you see the side eye the whole damn app? Oh my God. I feel like this, why am I feeling this chat is like not going at the speed I thought it was going to? Like, for instance, people keep talking about the fact that like, you can't thumbs up. Why? Are people not seeing the thumbs it up? I heard you on the Mommy May I Sleep With podcast. It was me. Yes. That was so fun to do. Yes. And I have an episode of Please Advise coming up too. If you haven't yet, guys, if you're on your mobile device, would you mind giving this a thumbs up, which is just like pushing that thumbs up signal, you know, the thumbs it up, thumbs it up, thumbs it up. Thumbs, 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 thumbs it up. It's like a little like hoppy. It's a little bunny, honey. I love being on that podcast. I love doing podcasts. If you guys listen to Natch Butte, I'm going to record an episode of that too. And then if you want to keep, you know, just watching me throughout my day, make sure you're on that Instagram and Twitter at Chris L. Farah. You know, like not this, the L is for Lannister. She pulled that one out, honey. Oh yay, drop down. It's finally got, click on the X, then the box will drop down to see the thumbs it up. Thank you so much, Lucy. Yeah, I gotta get that screen time. Time to turn over a table, toss a drink on someone or some shit. I can't wait to see what happens for Game of Thrones. I just like need there to be like 45 episodes this season. Game of Thrones is really, you have to watch. And then Double Shot at Love, I would say you don't have to watch. And RuPaul's Drag Race is good this season. Have you uploaded anything on your other channel? Oh, good to bring up. Vanity Fair. No, I haven't uploaded anything yet on that channel. I don't know what my first video should be. I'm like, oh, what should it be? If you haven't yet, I have a Facebook group. I need to like make a poll and find out. I'm thinking that either my first Vanity Fair will either be like a morning ritual edited video, or it will be, I might just like do a live where I color eggs. Lannister. I have this like gold kit of like coloring eggs for Easter, and so I might just like do a live where I do that. We shall see, but I would love your input on what my first video should be. Have you done more cooking with friends? No, I haven't, but I'm going down to hang out in Orange County to do some writing. I need to like get some packets done. So I would love to do something with my dad if he will eat my food, because he's very like, I don't like to eat healthy food, and B, like sometimes is camera shy until you put him on camera, and then he gets used to it and then like says a bunch of crazy stuff. I need to binge watch the previous seasons. We watched the first season and then a couple of shows at the end of the last season and nothing in between. Oh my God, you have to. I had not watched Game of Thrones at all, and I binged the whole series before the final one. But I mean, like at least 5 months ago. I got sick and just started watching all of them. And I started doing stand-up I was doing stand-up comedy, and then I would go talk about Game of Thrones in my set, and people were like, timely? Not, because we're in the middle of a season. Like, why are you now talking about it? Like, it's not relative. It's not relevant. And I was like, because I'm a little slow. Anyway, it's been 40 minutes, y'all. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your comments. I can't wait to go back and read them. So yeah, exciting things happening. Recording podcasts, listen to them. Mother May I Sleep With podcast is up. Please Advise will be up at some point. I'm shooting Natch Butte, or I'm recording Natch Butte today. I will do a Bridezilla recap. That'll be on this channel, the Chris Farah channel. And then please tell me what I should do on my Vanity Farah, my other channel I open, which is all things lifestyle, beauty, skincare, stuff like that, which you can also subscribe to. I promise I'm going to upload content. And if you haven't yet, I have my Facebook group, Vanity Farah, which you can just search on Facebook and find that out. And lastly, follow me on Instagram and Twitter for all of the up to the moment, hot goss of my life. Hot goss, if you haven't heard, if you haven't figured out, is my new thing I like to say. Hot goss. Oh, and of course, 90 Day Fiancé. Thank you, TJ. 90 Day Fiancé comes back soon. Can you believe it? So much happening there, too. Larissa's this is what I want to say. Larissa's plea in court was extended, so they still have to go to court and talk about shit. And then something else. Oh, I had looked it up. I don't know. I might do a little what's happening update of the cast before we get into that situation as well. Oh, Family Chantel. Family Day Chantel. The next spinoff and the first spinoff for an actual family happened. Chantel's rebel-rousing family, her mom, her dad, River, Winter, all of their crazy names, Pedro, Pedro's mom, and Pedro's sister, all have their own show now. It's called Family Day Chantel, or Family Chantel, but it should be Family Day Chantel. And I love the fact that Pedro is in the title, but do I love that? I think it's kind of telling. And we have to bear witness to their craziness now. That's what TLC wants us to do, is bear witness to Family Chantel. And will you, Anyway, I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to hear and read all of your comments. Take care of yourselves and each other. Stand up for what you believe and make art, okay? Bye, boos. Love you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you to TJ.